Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Return with Josh and Maria Cribbs. I am Maria Cribbs.
And I am Josh Cribbs. Welcome to The Return.
Okay, I just want to get right to it. Where does snow come from? Viewers, are you watching us wherever you're watching us from?
You doing this again? It's Cleveland.
But no. And this is the thing. As I'm getting older in life, I'm realizing that I deserve more. Now, I love Cleveland. I will have to say that. I love Cleveland. I'm from Ohio. But I believe I should be living in an area that
in a paradise.
It's not snowing in April.
I'll create a paradise in our backyard, in our bedroom, so that when it snows, you can stay there.
All I heard was Club Paradise,
baby.
Club Paradise in our bedroom.
Exactly. Club Paradise.
Ryan, do you feel
where
me?
it belongs.
Were you shocked?
You see, here's the difference between you guys. I'm forced and still forced and stuck in Ohio. You guys can pack up whenever you want.
You think so? Well, we got the kids. We got Izzy. Like, Izzy go to school, you know what I mean?
Hey.
Would that be selfish to move when he...
I think it would be. I'm not going nowhere, though. Unless you plan on packing up and leaving.
When I went outside, first
you
of all...
want to do that, I understand. I won't hold you back now.
You gonna hold me back?
If it's your glory and it's meant to be, and you need to be out of Ohio.
When I tell you I was caught off guard, I went outside to walk, take our dog out, which we need to get rid of that dog.
Nope, not gonna happen.
We'll talk about that in a minute. I went outside to let him out because I just decided to let him out instead of him just taking the leisure
that dog now. We need to get rid of that dog. Just lost the name of it. But
I was shocked when I saw that snow on the ground.
How can you be shocked still?
Because
being able to... You're from Columbus, so you're from Northeast Ohio.
But Columbus doesn't get the same weather as Cleveland.
I know. It's further south. But how can you been in Cleveland? We've been in Cleveland long. Our children is 21. We've been in Cleveland longer than our children has been alive.
True.
And our oldest daughter is 22. About to be 22.
About to be 22.
And you've been here before that in Northeast Ohio. Are we still surprised by we wake up one day it's 60, the next it's snowing? Are we still surprised by that?
And this is the thing about life and relationships. And Ryan, you're going to learn this, as you navigate through life. The things that I accepted in my 20s, I'm not accepting in my 40s.
So you're telling Ohio, and you're telling everyone that you're not accepting
the Cribbs are
change
leaving.
Of weather.
The Cribbs are leaving. Let somebody start pressing the right buttons, and where it's not snowing in April, we need to get up out of here.
As further south, the only further south we're going is Kent, Ohio. So
we'll
talk about that.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Right? Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay, yeah. So back to that dog though.
That dog.
Our house.
Lord have mercy.
Feel like
Peter, get on her case
now,
again.
Josh was talking last week about getting him some pure AV to make sure that the tech and everything is set up in the house, the speakers
system,
and all that.
My speakers, everything.
I don't want it inside of a house that smells like crap because this dog my dog is malfunctioning. He's using the restroom daily in the home. We take him out about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. And I was reading on it, and they said, hey, if the dog has an accident in the house, it's the owner's fault. But how we're taking him out?
You're not taking him out with quality.
Huh?
He can't just go out and then urinate. He has to go out. He has to do something else, but he can't speak English.
When we went outside,
he can't say, "Hold on," are you pulling his neck inside because it's a little chilly out?
When we went outside, he looked at me. He's like, "Is this snow?" I was like, "Right, is this snow? We can't make it in the house."
I got a boo boo. That's basically what he's trying to tell you. He just can't speak it.
I'm putting that
he
dog.
He barks though.
I've been known to give away. Ryan, you don't know this. I've been known to give away dogs.
She does, Ryan.
Josh came home.
She has before.
That's so messed up.
He came home one year from training camp, and our dog was
terrible.
gone. He didn't notice.
You know what I said to her?
Oh, now Ryan looks at me like I'm the killer or something.
Yes, she is. Look at her like that. Please give her that snarling look.
You can't just give away a dog.
Exactly. Ryan, I
came home. Like it's some sort of like toy.
I had just got the dog.
Or like
the
seasoning.
dog was like
they're borrowing our sugar.
I didn't know the dog like that.
Our shovel, right? I came home one day from training camp. I'm like, wow, the neighbor got a dog just like us. And he's excited to get...
He was trying to crawl his way to Josh.
He was pouncing on the window, like save me. And I'm like, that's interesting. They got they copying off us. They got a little pug.
Ryan,
just
Josh
like us.
came home about 3-4 times from training camp.
I was so
Didn't
mad.
even notice the dog was gone.
You know why I noticed?
One day.
You know why I noticed? Because I come home for something else. I ain't coming home.
I'm about to hang up this phone. I'm not even on the phone.
I ain't coming home to get licked up by the dog. I'm coming home to get
Josh.
You can finish the rest of that.
Coming home to get some
being
food.
in training camp.
Yeah, some food.
I'm coming home to get some food. To get fed.
Absolutely. But Ryan,
as
so
they say.
if he didn't notice that the dog was gone, Ryan, Did he love the dog anyway? Like, could you have loved the dog if you didn't even notice his absence?
I do gotta say if that's kind of
Thank you. See,
if you didn't even notice it was gone, I don't have a lot of a big leg to stand on here.
Correct. Let me tell you what happened though. The week prior, I woke up in the middle of the night. My throat was parched. To give me something to drink out of the fridge, and I didn't have any shoes on, so I just walked downstairs, and it was a nice piece of cold dog boo-boo waiting for me in the dark right in front of the refrigerator, and it smushed between my toes.
Have you had that happen to you before, Ryan, ever?
No, thankfully.
You ever think you ever
good dog?
That's how my foot went to the ground, and then it was like the little Play-Doh coming through.
I can imagine
it was that the visual I wanted you to think. So I was kind of
need that visual
coming off of that, So it was difficult at the time. Still, I was like, "Dang, let me say goodbye, or at least, because I would have been, I probably would have been in accordance, but anyway, I didn't. I was shocked about the move.
But we're saying all this to say that we are going to put our dog up on Craigslist.
No, we're not. Stop it.
He'll have the number 16, so y'all know it's like Josh Cribbs' dog. If
Major
you're a fan,
is not going anywhere.
That dog about
when
to
you
go
clean
somewhere.
up enough poop that I've already done and pee stains all over the carpet, I'm invested. I done did it too much. I'm
Ryan,
invested.
Real quick before we go to break,
Yeah.
how early do you get here in the morning? Like 8, 7, 8?
It's different each day. Average, I would say about 8 o'clock.
Was it? Okay, so I was driving down to take Izzy to school. I don't know if it's just the Akron thing. There were probably like 6 or 7 accidents this morning. It wasn't that much, no. Was any accidents on the road?
I didn't see any today, but I mean, it's an everyday occurrence when I drive here.
I feel like maybe down in Akron, they're not.
Something.
They're not treating the roads like that.
It's like that.
Maybe
Even
they're
here
understaffed.
in Cleveland,
It was,
there's a smaller budget in
so then maybe that's what it is. It was ridiculous getting down there today.
It's a smaller budget, smaller snow budget. The trucks don't be on the road like they are in the suburbs.
All right, so I know we gotta go to break. You want to talk sports when we get back?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Infinity, luxury experiences for those who dare to be different.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the show. Now, this segment is brought to you by our friends at Pure AV. Now, Pure AV specializes in sales, service, and installation of a variety of smart home technologies. They do it all. They can help you get the perfect sports watching setup with their high-performance audio and video displays, which, Josh, you need to update our basement with that. They offer hidden audio and video options that allow you to keep a clean, elegant interior without sacrificing your favorite technology. Pure AV can set you up with invisible architectural speakers that are hidden in your walls and ceilings. That's a game changer right there. As well as disappearing TVs that vanish behind art or mirrors. Visit pureavcorp.com today to see everything they offer for your home. Josh, now the TV.
I'm going to try to get a discount.
Forget what movie
I'm like, man, we promoting it. We need to get a discount. I want one of them TVs that float. Because honestly, I didn't think we needed the floating out, but as you say it, I'm visualizing. I'm like, man, I'd kill him with that. Like everybody be wanting to come over my house after that.
Yeah.
So when people hear that, the visual is just off the chain.
Especially when you're getting to the point like, okay, I'm disappointed in how the weather is turning out, and even though I'm used to the weather in Ohio, it's just like certain things you have to do to make your home feel like it's a resort. I don't know if I want my home to feel like it has hotel quality, or I don't want to have to go out of town to stay in a nice place. Why not invest in your home? So doing something like that. I remember we watched some movie one time. It might have been like a movie back in the 90s, and they was about to get it on, and the guy, he pressed a button and the TV went down. I was like, oh, that's so cold.
And the music cut on. Yeah, and the champagne come out of nowhere. You got a whole switch for this cabinet.
That's Pure AV right there, baby.
Yeah,
so make sure you hit them. If you're thinking about remodeling your home or, investing a little bit to make it a little bit spicier, check them out. All right, Josh, what you got for sports?
I did want to talk a little bit, and we have a surprise guest coming up. No other than Mary Kay Cabot.
Mary Kay Cabot.
She actually spent time in Colorado for their pro day to get to, she saw the talent up close and personal. 2 of the 3 guys that the Browns are looking to take. I think it's almost a given, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan, do we think that Abdul Carter, Shador Sanders, and Travis Hunter, those will be the top picks for the Browns? It's going to be either one of those 3 guys. Am I mistaken if I say that?
No, not at all. It's hands down. I mean, from every single report, every single reporter, everything we've seen, everything we've read from both the media and Andrew Berry themselves, the Browns brass, that is, it's at this point, yes, Abdul Carter's still on the board, but it really does seem like, especially after Colorado's Pro Day, which just took place, it's really going to be between Shedeur and Travis Hunter.
And that's funny. Deion did say, I won't say he leaked it, but he did make a comment that one of these guys will be in Cleveland. And we always thought that there were a talented group of guys. When you look at Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders, like, you couldn't miss with neither one of them. It's crazy to think that, there have been speculation. I want to ask Mary Kay some of this stuff. And what are the chances that they may trade down still, Ryan? And when you look at, the picks that are there, Cam Ward still being, a shoe-in or a lock for Tennessee. And whoever we don't take, the Giants going to get, that's almost a sure thing. What are the chances that they may not take any of these guys and trade down and get someone else?
I guess you never really know, especially with Andrew Berry, who has a history of liking to trade down and gain assets. But at this point, from every report we've seen, I mean, I would be absolutely shocked, because even if you're going down to 6, 7, whatever, you're 100% missing out on Travis Hunter if you move down. And then you're also banking on the Giants not taking Shedeur Sanders, which, if he's available to them at 3, I'd have a hard time believing they would pass on a guy like Shedeur. So you're really playing the gamble there, so I don't see that happening.
So if they don't make it, then they don't believe that Shedeur is the answer. They don't think that he's the guy that's going to help the Browns.
Right.
Even though a lot of people, I know you said this early in the year, that you felt that, Shedeur fits this offensive scheme.
Right.
So if they don't pick him and they choose to draft, they choose to trade down, I think we can honestly infer that, the Browns don't think that a quarterback for them is in this draft this year, and then they'll trade down, which means that, we'll probably gain a few picks even for next year's draft. If they don't make that choice, or if they feel like that, do you feel like if they do pick at number 2, that there'll be appeasing the fan base in some way? Because it will ignite our fan base by picking number 2, any one of those 3. But if they don't, maybe they're saying, hey, guys, calm down. This is not it right now. We don't feel like this is it. We gave them, great, grades and good standings. But, when in talking further, this is not our guy. So still be excited. How can we still be excited, Ryan, if they don't select, them 3 guys?
Listen,
one of them 3.
That'd be a very tough job. But I know, if anything, in Cleveland, a week will pass. Eventually, we'll do digging all the research on said player who's new to Cleveland, and we'll fall in love with him. That's just how it goes. But at first, yeah, it's hard, because I know a lot of people don't love Shedeur, but it's still that excitement factor. It's a young quarterback, a young guy who you've seen had success, and at the most important position. And a guy like Travis Hunter would be equally as exciting for some people, because he has the opportunity to maybe play both ways, because he's such a game changer on both sides of the ball. Like Andrew Berry said, he sees him as a receiver, but knows he can score a touchdown anytime he gets his hands on the ball. But if you're looking at passing, either moving back or just passing completely on Travis, Abdul Carter, or Shedeur Sanders, I mean, it's going to be hard. Because you're moving back, drafting like a Mason Graham, another defensive lineman interior, which would be nice, but those players just don't have the name value for one, and then 2, the high grades.
I'm going to ask this to Mary Kay, and she's coming up a little later in the show. Kyle Brandt on Good Morning Football, he said had a good segment talking about Shedeur Sanders and the flack that he has been taking based off of his pro day. Him, and I'm sure you guys heard, other guys who are currently in the NFL, defensive guys, making response, Maria, to him patting the football, and them making a big deal about it as if it was going to mess up his draft prospect. Like, oh, this is this negative thing. And I have to tell viewers out there that, I coached my son to play quarterback. I was a Division I quarterback and was able to sling it a few times in the NFL. It is a quality that quarterback coaches do try to teach out of a player.
Are you saying patting or patting?
So before they throw the ball, they pat it before they throw it.
Oh,
I wish
he was doing that. He was doing that in
in his pro day.
Oh.
Yeah, in his pro day. It's okay, Maria, but
somebody knocked that right out.
Being the football, right before he throw it, he pat it and then throw the ball. Our son does that tremendously. And coaches will try to, at lower levels, high school and college, sometimes will try to teach that in out of a quarterback because it's a second of a time. But, Kyle Brandt did an excellent job being, sarcastic with the point to say, okay, well, since he patted it, I guess he's not a available draft pick in this draft. He should not go first round, second. He's maybe a third round draft pick, because of that. And no quarterback who has success does that. And he proceeded to bring up the film of Tom Brady, Super Bowl. We know all his rings. Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, all the greats. Aaron Rodgers.
Is it to get a better grip on it, though?
Josh Allen. No.
Why
it's a timing issue. It's a rhythm issue for a quarterback.
Boys coming
when you see somebody open, it helps keep you in rhythm. It helps add a little spunk to the ball.
Okay.
But it was significant, Ryan. And I want you to just touch on it real quick before we go to commercial. How do you feel about that prospect of people trying to give him flack for patting the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really seen somebody receive as much flack as he has for patting the ball because I know it's a very common practice that a lot of quarterbacks do. I mean, believe it or not, I actually have never played in the NFL. I know, very shocking.
What?
But I know so many great quarterbacks. I know, Maria, it's crazy.
Those shoulders.
So many great quarterbacks I've seen pat the ball. And it's this time of the year when everybody, especially the online scouts, right?
Right.
The fake
Everybody's
Twitter.
a GM.
Me, I'm a GM. I'm a scout this time of year. It's the nitpicking season, especially as you get closer and closer. They're just going to nitpick certain things about guys. And most of the time, these are just to reaffirm their previous agendas on a player.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we got Mary Kay Cabot waiting. Is she waiting?
You
guys, we got to take a break. We're coming back up with Mary Kay Cabot. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Return with Josh Maria Cribbs. Now, we have a very special guest on the show with us today, fresh off the runway.
Absolutely. We have Mary Kay, who knows it all, Browns beat writer. Everything you need to know about the Browns, what's going on about the draft. Mary Kay knows it. She is here on this show. Welcome back, Mary Kay.
Welcome, Miss Cabot. How you doing?
Great to be here with you guys. I love you guys.
Oh, we love you more. And I know, viewers, I already know what you guys want me to ask her. It's a very important question, Josh. I'm sorry, just one second.
Take it.
You were out in Colorado. The fans want to know, did you get any good food while you were out there?
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? I will tell you what. Because of all of those tornadoes across the Midwest, I got in very, very late on Thursday night before the showcase on Friday. And then I got up early, spent the whole entire day at the showcase, got back to my hotel room, worked really late, got up and went to the airport the next morning. So I had a couple of granola bars, a few bags of peanuts, and really not much else.
In and out.
That's the life of a journalist.
Yes, it is. Always on the go.
Mary Kay stays on the go. But without further ado, I want to dive into it.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to see firsthand Shedeur Sanders work out and the rest of the Colorado Buffaloes receiving core. How did Shedeur throw? A lot of people want to know from your perspective, is Shedeur Sanders NFL ready to come right away here with the Cleveland Browns if necessary, if he's selected, and play in the National Football League?
I am going to say yes. I'm trying not to overthink this whole thing. Throughout this whole process, I have looked at it as the Browns have a shot at one of the best two quarterbacks in this draft, and they have probably Shedeur Sanders is going to be available to them at number 2. And I believe that they should just pull the trigger on it there and not try to do anything cute or funny or fancy. And they should go with Shedeur. With what I saw with my own 2 eyes, I really do believe that he has what it takes to succeed in the NFL in the right system. I think this is the right system for him, and I think he's going to be good.
I like that answer. I think all 3 of us here in the studio, we can agree with that answer, especially we're going to have to quote you on that.
Mary Kay, I was going for Shedeur day one. Cute. Day one, at the beginning of his this Colorado football season, I said he need to come over here with the Browns and right. Look. You know what I mean?
But I think we should quote that, Ryan. Ryan, you got to make sure you get them quotes. The Browns shouldn't do anything cute, cuddly, or try to be, spontaneous.
Don't do too much.
Do what you need to do. She's seen it with her own eyes. So if they take a Travis Hunter, who is equally a dynamic pick for the team, and it still will have some excitement for our team. Does that mean they think that Shedeur is not the perfect fit for the Browns?
Well, I think if they do something like that, it probably means they have another quarterback that they really like, that they feel like they can get somewhere later in the draft. We know they're drafting a quarterback. There's no way they're coming out of this draft without a quarterback. So if they do something like that, it's because they have a reasonably good idea they can get another quarterback that they really like a lot somewhere later. But once again, I wouldn't risk it. It looks to me like Shedeur Sanders is at least the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And you know that you are guaranteed to get him at number 2 as long as the Titans do what we all think they're going to do and take Cam Ward. You can't really count on saying, oh, hey, maybe we could get Tyler Shuck somewhere later in the draft, right, or maybe we could get Jackson Dart somewhere later in the draft, or whoever it may be that you like. I just don't know that you can take that kind of risk. And I want to say something really quick about Shedeur Sanders' arm with what I did see with my own 2 eyes. I was very impressed with the long ball. I thought he had great spin, explosiveness, and revolution on the deep ball. Now, he actually has a tighter spiral on the deep ball than he had on some of the shorter passes and the outs and things like that. But if you have it for the long ball, for the 60-yard pass, then you have it in you, and you just might need to tweak your technique a little bit. And Josh, you would know this better than anybody, that you just might need to be coached up a little bit on that with how you are delivering some of the shorter passes. But if you have it on a 60-yarder, I think you can equally have it on a 25-yarder or a 30-yarder. And I think, he just might need a little bit of refining in that regard.
You took the question out of my mouth. I was going to ask about that deep ball. A lot of people question his strength in that. So thank you for clearing that up, because a lot of people, they overanalyze at this point of the year. Sometimes from these pro days, they can raise their stock or lower their stock, but you answered it. Arm strength is there for the long ball.
Mary Kay,
Yes.
I want to ask you about Andrew Berry, the man obviously ultimately responsible for handing in that card during the draft. You look at last year, you win 3 games, okay? I understand Jimmy Haslam came out with the comments talking about the big swing and miss with Deshaun, but it's still the NFL. You got to prove you can win. I can't imagine you survive another 3-win season regardless of if you got a quote-unquote pass for that trade. If you're Andrew Berry, how's he handling this draft? Because you could very well take Travis Hunter, and he could be a generational talent like people are touting him to be, but we've seen the reality is that can still translate to 3, 4, 5 wins. Heck, we got Myles Garrett, the best defensive player of the year, and we won 3 games. So if you're balancing that, do you look at it, well, hey, I need a quarterback, and the hit rate in the first round at number 2 is a lot higher. I need to kind of do this to save my job, because even if he's not as good as Travis Hunter when it's all said and done, we know quarterbacks can make an immediate impact in the draft, as we've seen with Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud just in the last 2 seasons.
I don't think that these guys are making their decisions based on trying to save their jobs. I really, truly believe that this is a regime that is true to the task, and they're trying to find the best possible way to win football games, not just for this year, but for the sustainable future. So I do believe that they will do whatever it takes to try to get to winning and sustained winning. And again, in my mind, that is to find your quarterback. And I'm of the mind that if it doesn't work out, if you do swing and a miss again, then you come back at it again. And I actually am very, very strong in my feelings about this. I think they should draft 2 quarterbacks in this draft. Now, I put something a little crazy out there recently, and who cares?
You know what, Mary? I want to jump in and when
why was it crazy? We're struggling at QB.
Well, because I was clarifying it too, because the more the draft season approached, more and more people were saying the same thing, that they may take a Shedeur at number 2, trade down and trade that pick and take another guy, maybe not at 33, but another guy later in the draft, of somebody who came on a visit of some sort. So it was a lot of analysts saying the 2 quarterback scenarios.
And Mary Kay, Josh in the comments, he was in the comments shooting everybody down. I'm like, okay, you got Mary Kay's back, baby.
Well, it wasn't really that. It was just being analytical.
Yeah.
If quarterback is the main position that we're trying to fix, let's not just have one take at it. Let's not make it rest on one guy.
Right.
You can find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
It might be a second-day draft or a second-round draft pick that may come out and fit into this scheme and be a valuable talent maybe in the middle of the year or next season after that veteran transition player is acquired.
Right. And I remember now that we're talking about it, I do recall that you did have my back on that when I came up with my kind of crazy idea that they should trade back into the first round and take Tyler Shuck, only because I've been hearing so many great things about Tyler Shuck. And somehow, some way, I think it would be really, really cool to also get him on this roster and get him on this football team. That's not going to happen. They're not going to trade back up and take another quarterback in the first round. But part of my point here was to also say, as you're mentioning, that you need to find an answer at quarterback, and you need to take some swings at the plate. And if you need to take some risks and do something outside of the box that no one has ever done before, why not try it? Desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures. And I really like that quarterback. I don't think they're going to be able to get their hands on him as well, but I do think that they can probably get another intriguing quarterback somewhere else later in this draft.
Now, the Browns surprise everyone. They choose Abdul Carter. Are you disappointed? Do you feel as though the Browns may not have had their ducks in a row if Abdul Carter is there and they fooled everyone? How do you feel, and how should we feel as a fan base if knowing we need that number 2 to be a quarterback, or we need a quarterback, probably is not going to, it may be one at 33, but are we disappointed if we take Abdul Carter, or there's going to be more of a defensive focus?
Well, I'll tell you what. I've watched plenty of film now on Abdul Carter, and I'm very excited about what I see in him. He's a tremendous high motor football player. He's a never say die player. He does look almost generational to me, which that term is overused, but he's really, really good. If you were able to get someone like that, and then secretly you loved, let's say, a Tyler Shuck, more so than you even liked Shador or anybody else in this draft, and you were able to somehow come back and get him later in the first round, or even with your 33 overall pick, although I think that might even be a little bit of a reach because he's starting to come on strong in NFL circles. But if you were able to get a combo like that, that could be dynamite. So no, I wouldn't be disappointed by that if they then came back and got another really promising and intriguing quarterback.
And that's why I love Mary Kay, because you hear her say, I watched film on Abdul Carter. Like, she don't play around.
The validity is there.
But I just got to ask Mary Kay, so, okay, like, give me a little tea. Like, okay, when you was out there, were the Haslam's there? You said Andrew Berry was there. Was Stefanski there? Like, did you notice any side conversations taking place? I just fill us in a little bit.
Yeah, I saw a lot of really cool things. And some of those things I was able to capture it on video, and I've tweeted out a number of things. One of the cool things that I caught was Jimmy Haslam actually just talking to Deion Sanders and meeting him for the first time. They stood on that field and talked for over 10 minutes. They were yucking it up. They were having a really good time talking. And then when I got into the Deion press conference, which it's hard to get a question in those kinds of things, and I was kind of boxed out a little bit by someone and stuff like that. I really had to kind of hold my ground and do the best I could. And I asked him about meeting Jimmy Haslam, and he looked straight into my phone, gave me a great answer on Jimmy, and then finished it off by saying, I think one of those two guys will be there in Cleveland, meaning either Shador or Travis. So you can find that somewhere down the line on my Twitter account, probably.
Y'all better search her account and look for it.
Oh, right.
That's interesting.
12 tweets back or something like that. And then I wrote a whole story about that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And, so I saw that. And then I saw Andrew Berry. He was talking to Prime for a while. He was also talking to some members of the Titans. I saw Brian Daboll, who has the number 3 overall pick for the Giants, talking to Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. There were all kinds of side conversations going on. There's all kinds of little stuff that was going on. I saw a lot of different things. Travis Hunter did not talk to the media. And that's something that while I think Shador can come in and be the face of a franchise, I really do believe that he has everything that it takes to lead a football team, to overcome adversity, to lead a franchise, and to kind of just be that face of a franchise who has that sort of star power. Travis kind of shies away from the media a little bit, but I will say that there was not one young person who walked up to him with a football that did not walk away with an autograph from Travis.
And that's what
Winter.
it's all about.
Wow.
Right,
Yeah,
He was
right.
really, really good with the fans and the people. And he did have a really nice time with them at dinner. They took Travis and Shedeur to dinner the night before the workout. Dion did not go to that dinner. I thought that he would, but he didn't. So the first time that I was capturing film of him talking to Jimmy on the field was really the first time they had met.
Oh, wow.
So he did not attend that dinner, but those guys found out a whole lot about Shedeur, about Travis. And as Pat Shurmur said, and he's keeping it simple. If you need the quarterback, you take Shedeur. If you don't need a quarterback, you take Travis. And he's really good friends with Kevin Stefanski. They stood next to each other talking for at least 10 minutes, those two did.
Seems obvious. It seems obvious.
And Pat Shurmur is not going to blow smoke at Kevin Stefanski.
Right.
If he needs a real answer on something, he's going to give it to Kevin. So I just think it was really productive for the Browns to be there.
All right, you guys, it's getting juicy with Mary Kay Cabot. We're going to keep her around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still talking Browns with Mary Kay Cabot.
Let's say Andrew Berry's head over heels with Travis Hunter, loves his ability to play both ways potentially, knows he's a home run pick, but let's say Kevin Stefanski and also Jimmy Haslam are enamored with the prospect Shedeur Sanders and finding that quarterback to turn this franchise around. How do they figure that pick out, Mary Kay?
Well, what happens now over the next few weeks before the April 24th draft is the Browns will finish up their top 30 visits. They're having a bunch of guys in this week and a few more, I think, even next week. Those visits have to be done by April 16th. So by next week, those do have to be done. So they will host all of those guys. Then they will take all of the information that they have, throw it all into the hopper, and then they have a bunch of meetings. And they will have extensive meetings, debate, dialogue about these players. And they will come to a meeting of the minds, and they will have a consensus by the time they get to the end of these meetings on what they're doing. Now, Andrew Berry has the final say, and he will have the final say on this. But I don't think it's going to be a situation where three guys want one thing and Andrew Berry wants another. I think that they will hash it out to the point where they're all excited about the same guy.
That draft room was going to be intense, baby. Now, you did say the Silver Fox. I mean, not Silver Fox. Coach Prime.
Goodness.
I'm sorry about that.
Are you talking about Stefanski
No,
or Coach Prime?
I'm talking about Coach Prime. You said he was out there. Did you happen to know if he has any room available on his coaching staff? Because I know someone in the room that's interested in getting back into coaching. So I've never been to Colorado. I heard Colorado was beautiful. Isn't it beautiful, Mary Kay?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Colorado is beautiful, but I'm not interested in joining Colorado staff just yet. No, I have another staff. I have another staff that I'm interested in joining.
Mary Kay, it was a lot taking place as you were in Colorado. I'll say that.
Yeah, the Kent State Golden Flashes. And yes. Kenny Burns, he's the Golden Flashes head coach right now. He's been placed on administrative leave. And I don't think it's a secret, Maria, Ryan, and Mary Kay, that I'm advocating heavily for that role. So I got my fingers crossed. I'm getting prepared for that.
His phone started blowing up as soon as that press release went out, and it's just been chaotic ever since.
So we might change roles, Mary Kay. I might, it might be on a coaching standpoint. The last time we had that role change, I was coaching with the Cleveland Browns, and it was a different aspect.
You know what, Josh? I have been following this storyline because, as you know, I am a former Golden Flash myself. Mm-hmm. So I, of
Flashes,
course,
baby. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Right. I, of course, have a vested interest in hoping that my Golden Flashes football team can get back on the map and be amazing. And I would love it if you were the head coach of the Golden Flashes, if it comes to the point where that job comes open. But I'm curious, you don't really have that kind of coaching experience. So what is it about you that would make you amazing at this job over someone from maybe, say, like a Power 5 assistant or something like that?
Absolutely. Oh, she gets
so
right
glad
to the
you
nitty-gritty.
asked, right?
No, but Definitely, Mary Kay. We know the college landscape has changed significantly, where NIL money has been introduced. And all this extra curriculum has been introduced to whereas your institution where you play football, it matters. They want to know that, if an athlete of any substance comes there, they want to have the opportunity to possibly play in the National Football League or use Kent State as a stepping stone. So a guy like myself, having being an alumni of Kent State University, I hope to galvanize not just the student body, but Northeast Ohio around me. I think I'll have a ton of support from donors. Already have NIL money lined up, Mary Kay. I'm ready to go after certain athletes to join the program, even though it's late. We have significant alumni that had guys and their children commit to other programs who I'm going after, Mary Kay. They belong in the Golden Flashes uniform. Right now, they're committed to other universities. First thing of business for me is to going after those guys, to multitasking and evaluating the staff, to understand that there will be a culture change. They haven't won in a few years now. Losing this program all of last season, not winning a game, that's horrible.
Yeah,
and like you said, we're Golden Flashes at heart. And it'll be, for me, it's me coming home, the return to excellence, back to excellence. So I'm looking forward to galvanizing not just the student body, but a whole Northeast Ohio around that movement.
Well, let me ask you another question about that then, because I did just get back from Boulder, Colorado, where Deion Sanders and Shador and Pat Shurmur and those guys arrived on campus to a football team that had won one football game the year before. And it took a little time. They got the program turned around. They changed everything. They changed the culture. They changed the vibe. They changed the attention, obviously, that the school is getting. They won 4 games the following year. And then last season, they won 9 games. So what would you do to change that culture as fast as you could?
Absolutely. So to not just go there and try to go fire individuals. So the evaluation of the coaching staff. First of all, we have to look at those. They have a great group of guys who they've just hired. Maria and Ryan, they just brought in a lot of guys under Kenny Burns that those guys have to be evaluated. They deserve a look to stay on that coaching staff.
Right.
I ended up in a position like that where the head coach was fired over me.
Oh, man.
And, I wish I would have been considered to stay on the staff, but we know that doesn't always happen. But for a culture change, similar to what Deion Sanders did, he got famous for saying he came with his Louis luggage. I'm not as flashy as Deion is, but I will come with that those NIL money already in hand with letter of intents from guys that already committed their money to back me as the head coach, Mary Kay, and also the donor funds, and not just, again, I can't say it enough, the student body being excited about it, but also our alumni. Our alumni plays a huge part in the football program, and they've had a terrible representation of that. And who wants to be, Mary Kay, who wants to come in back to your university with a team that hasn't won a game?
Right.
And every single year, players enter the portal. So they're starting over again. The best players that they had last year, by winning no game, they enter the portal.
Right.
The best players
as
the year
as
before
he should. Why would you
enter
stay?
the portal.
Right.
So there's no retention of athletes.
Yeah.
So we'll come and immediately be excited about playing for a Josh Cribbs as opposed to somebody with no tie to the university. This is personal for me, Mary Kay. This is
university
a
or
legacy.
the type of career that you've had as well.
Absolutely.
I think as a player, I would want to be coached by someone who has been where I aspire to be. I know all players can't make to the NFL, but someone who has played where I'm trying to go.
And not just that. I've came from Kent State. I met Maria at Kent State. So I've been there and done that in the same position that they wanted to do it from, and coaching at the NFL level for both the Browns and the Houston Texans. My collegiate transformation to be where I am right now. Right. So I'm excited about it, Mary Kay, for the opportunity.
Well, let me ask you this, if you have time for one more question,
Yes.
because I'm
let's do it. I love it. I'm on the hot seat.
Again, I do care about this. I mean, this is near and dear to my heart. Like,
Right.
I want the Golden Flash. I want to be proud of my alma mater as well. So when I look back at Kent State and all the amazing, tremendous names that have come through there, would you enlist the help of guys like Nick Saban and Antonio Gates and Julian Edelman and some of the big names that have come through Kent State to kind of help get this program back on the map?
Absolutely. Those are the guys that, I've already reached out to. Even coaches that I've coached with that coached me at Kent State University. Dean Pease, who's the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. I've already enlisted his opportunity, his services. He's already committed to coming back and help evaluate coaches and players. So the resources that I bring, Mary Kay, stretch from NFL players that played at Kent, that have that diehard involvement with Kent, and now they are NFL and living these big lives. I've already enlisted their involvement. You said a interesting name, Antonio Gates, who's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. His son is one of the guys that committed to Delaware State to play with Deshaun Jackson, who took the head coaching job there. That's one of the first guys I want him to decommit and come on home.
You gonna steal his son?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, Lord.
I want him to come on home. He
deserves
to wear a Golden Flash jersey just like his dad did.
Yeah.
Not on a football field, but a basketball jersey. So I'm sure he'll be excited. And not just that, these guys won't come here for nothing, Mary Kay. Again, with the resources that I have one thing that separates the MAC from other schools. We're not funded like an Ohio State or another Power 5 school. So we rely heavily on donor support and support from the community. But with me, in the college landscape the way it is now we can attract those big time quarterbacks that come here in Kent State, and we can give them something on top of it. A big time linebacker that Maria played at Hoban, who committed to Ohio State. I want to go after guys like that and bring them on back home and maybe throw a car deal in it. So we have to make Kent State advertising. We have to make it a place that people want to go, not just the players but the fans too, to bring that excitement back, because Kent State deserves it.
That's
and
right.
I plan to bring that to us.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to run right through the wall for you right now.
There you go.
Oh, let's go.
Absolutely. Well, Mary Kay, you know what? We appreciate your Browns insight. Appreciate you being able to just take time out of your day. I know you have a busy schedule.
Yeah, we love you so
much. But we love you, and we thank you for coming on, Mary Kay, for all that you do for the city of Cleveland, and the wonderful, loving words that you said about Kent State and the football team.
Golden Flashes,
thank
baby.
you, Mary.
Mary Kay, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I love you too.
We got more Return with the Cribs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Now, Josh, Mary Kay Cabot always has like the inside scoop. I love her expertise. When she says she watches film, she's the real deal.
Oh yeah, you got to. You have to.
I want to ask her too. What makes her? Why would they pick Shador over Travis Hunter? I guess
well,
he feels like
the quarterback is the most important part to the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And if you picking Travis, then somebody else in the draft caught your eye as far as quarterback.
Oh,
and they can get away with that guy and have a career generational talent with Travis Hunter. So that's why you take a Travis Hunter, because somebody else is good enough.
Right.
That, again, we don't need an elite quarterback. We need somebody who can run the offense that we have.
Right.
And right now we feel like it's Shador, but if they take Travis, then another guy we believe in the draft is capable enough of doing a good job.
So you say regardless if they took Travis Hunter or not, the Browns are not leaving this draft without a QB.
Correct.
Okay.
I think we're all in accordance with that, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
when it comes to her talking about Kent State, I just feel
yeah, she's a Golden Flash.
I don't really like to chime in. I'm like, okay, let's, I'm trying to separate the things, but I know she's a Golden Flash. I am too. So are you. When the landscape of college football has changed, you see Eddie George is where he's at, Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Mike Vick,
Norfolk State.
Right. So I just
Deshaun
feel like
Jackson, Delaware State.
And every year, especially Kent State, because Josh loves Kent State with all his heart. Every year they hire a coach. Josh always says he's gonna be here for a few years. He's using it as a resume builder. He's gonna be here for a few years, and he's gonna walk out. I think because you have such a love for Kent State, because you are an alumni, our roots are here in Cleveland, and then just the legacy that you're leaving behind as far as your NFL career and expertise. I believe a kid, if they're thinking about where they want to go play for some coach, in another MAC school, for some coach over there, opposed to being coached by Josh Cribbs, who, like I said, has been where I aspire to go. I know he knows everything about the game of football. I feel like as far as recruitment goes, it's a no-brainer.
Right. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, right? And that's because of the change in landscape. Yeah. Recruiting matters. Even though recruiting always mattered, it's on a different level now because of NIL. And that's what's, again, separates the MAC and Power 5 schools. Yeah. That's why donor funds is very important. NIL money is very important in attracting these collegiate athletes.
You used to work at the call center and had to do the donations.
Yeah.
So wouldn't an alumni want to donate to a program that's on fire?
Right. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get people to understand. There's a lot of people I know within the community that's alumni and that own businesses that would back me as the head football coach and support us.
I would love to see it if given an opportunity. But look, we got to go to break again. Don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to The Return. Now, before we go, Mary Kay, she was, on a flight coming back fresh from Colorado.
Right.
Michelle Williams, the singer from Destiny's Child, you know her. She posted this photo, and I forgot to ask Mary Kay Cabot, what would she do if she was on her flight? And this is in first class, by the way.
Oh, my goodness.
Someone has their foot up there by where you rest your elbow. Viewers, what would you do? I'll be spilling my vodka and tonic all over that foot. Josh, that's disgusting.
I pay too much money to be up here, and it smells and everything. Mr. Stewardess, Mrs.
Get your ashy feet off of my armrest, sir. Josh.
I'm going to just, sir, your foot back here. That's all. One of your talons.
I'm going to start flicking. I'm going to be just flicking this foot like.
That's assault.
One little piggy, two
that's
little piggy.
Assault.
That's
you
disgusting right there.
Don't touch no one's feet.
The NCAA men's basketball. It's not Final Four anymore. It's the championships tonight, right?
Championship is tonight.
You said the game the other day was amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Houston came back on Duke in amazing fashion. It was a game that
they were down by 6, 30 seconds left.
Well, like a minute, I think. Right. Down by 6, and they were able to.
UConn won yesterday. All right, so you guys, we love you guys so much for watching. Mary Kay Cabot, thank you so much for joining the show, and we'll see you next time on The Return with Josh Maria Cribbs. Have a wonderful day, you guys.